Welcome to the temple of elemental evil. Episode 12.
I am Dreadmore, your dungeon master, and these are your players for episode 12. Nyraxis, a third-level infernal tiefling draconic sorcerer. Malik, a third-level cleric of Palor, who follows the life domain. Dusty Slay, a third-level Gloomstalker ranger of the Gnarly Forest. Octavius, a third-level stone giant Goliath wizard evoker. Cantor, a third-level orc monk. He is a warrior of the elements. Gothox, a third-level druid of the Gnarly Forest, who belongs to the druid order called the Circle of the Land. Let's continue our story. The chapter title is Infiltration of the No Ring Fort, Part 2. Scene 1. Location is south of the Old Temple. Giant hyena and heroes clash. Our story picks up with our heroes engaged in battle with an entire ring fort of gnolls and hyenas. A giant hyena confronts Dusty, Cantor, and Malik. Gothox tries to avoid the onslaught of ranged arrow attacks at him from multiple gnolls. On the wall's ledge, Octavius and Nyraxis hold the line against two gnolls and one giant hyena. We start our combat off with Cantor, Dusty, and Malik south of the Old Temple. The trio makes short work of the giant hyena. Multiple strikes confuse the giant beast, causing it to do no damage to any of the characters before falling dead. Scene 2. Edge of the wall. Cantor joins Octavius and Nyraxis. With the giant hyena dead, Cantor jumps up to the wall's edge to assist Octavius. The Goliath wizard is eye to eye with a giant hyena and two gnolls with bone longbows, raining arrows in his direction. Octavius cast a web spell on the giant hyena, extending from the wall's ledge all the way to the backside of the Old Temple. The gnolls shifted their attacks from Octavius and Cantor. They unleashed range attacks on the tiefling Nyraxis, who was floating above the ring fort's wall. He was struck multiple times by arrows before retreating below the outside wall's edge. Cantor and Octavius continued their attacks on the giant hyena. The giant beast was able to bite Octavius multiple times after breaking free from the web's restraints. With Octavius injured, he released some damage of his own. He struck the giant hyena multiple times with a shocking grasp spell doing good damage. Cantor assisted with limited strikes on the hyena. He remained in a dodge state the entire battle. Nyraxis drank a healing potion and cast a mirror image spell, creating 3 duplicate copies of himself. He then flew back above the wall and assisted in taking down the giant hyena. After receiving a variety of might and magic damage, the giant beast fell dead at Octavius's feet. 2 more gnolls rushed the wall where Cantor and Octavius stood. They too were dropped by the trio's extensive attacks. One was even kicked over the wall to his death by Cantor. With a total of 3 gnolls now on the other side of the web, they created a small torch fire to burn the webs away. The gnolls advanced towards Octavius, Cantor, and Nyraxis. The 3 heroes moved further away down the wall's ledge towards the south side. Now let's head our attention back to the ground-level conflict. Gnolls and hyenas rush Malik, Dusty, and Gothox, trying to overwhelm them with their numbers. Seeing this, Dusty cast a fog spell on top of everyone, causing blindness to those in the fog, except for the Gloomstalker himself. The gnolls scattered in all directions outside the fog, and ready to strike for anyone to come out of it. One hyena remained in the fog to fight Dusty, while Gothox heads south out of the fog. Malik moves east towards the knolls. This cleric is well armored and goes into a defensive posture, declaring dodge for the entire battle except for one round. Malik was surrounded on all sides by gnolls and a gnoll pack lord. That's when the old temple doors open to reveal a female war chief, a gnoll Fang of She joins the onslaught on Malik and organizes the assault. Dusty was able to attack from the fog without being seen. He hit the female gnoll war chief for decent damage. This caused the female gnoll Fang of to reposition herself next to Gothox. The war chief and the pack lord focused their attacks on the druid, while Malik remained ever vigilant, blocking all attacks made on him at this time. Dusty then removed the first fog spell and placed it on Malik and his surrounding attackers. The gnolls fled the fog again and re-established themselves outside of the fog, where they readied themselves for attacks on anyone leaving the fog diameter. After a couple of hits on Gothox by the gnoll leaders, Gothox shape shifted into a tiny spider and climbed the tree out of harm's way. From there, the female war chief took a band of 6 gnolls with her up to the wall's edge to engage Kantar, Octavius, and Nyraxis. Seeing the female war chief, Nyraxis cast a witch bolt spell on her, doing good damage. Undeterred, the female war chief dashed in Octavius's direction, standing 10 feet from him. Kantar moved up and attacked the female war chief with a single strike while also declaring dodge. The 6 gnolls following the female war chief shot at Nyraxis, but were only able to get rid of 2 of his 3 mirror images. Nyraxis finished off the war chief with his second electrical attack from the witch bolt spell, dropping her dead at the wall's edge. Kantar then moved down the stairs from the wall and towards the tree that Gothox was in. Kantar then became engaged in combat with a gnoll and a hyena. Let's check back with our heroes on the wall to see how that conflict is going. The gnolls hit Nyraxis multiple times with their bone longbows, doing great damage, striking him with a critical shot. With Nyraxis injured and out of mirror images, he cast invisibility on himself and fled the area to the east side of the stables inside the ring fort. Octavius was overrun on the wall's ledge. He was forced to jump over the wall's ledge with a featherfall spell given to him by Kantar, removing himself from combat for the time being. From there, Dusty and Malik moved their hostile engagement in front of the old temple. Gothox shape shifted back to normal form and then moved to the grain silo, where he set it on fire. Gothox could hear squeaks coming from within the grain of the silo, which indicated rats were inside. Gothox then moved up next to Malik, Dusty, and Kantar. The gnoll pack lord drops after receiving a final blow from the monk. He was badly beaten on all sides by the heroes. From out of nowhere, Dusty hears his name called in the goblin language. He looks over to see Hisp standing with the last of the gnolls to respond to the assault. Hisp then turns and attacks the gnoll next to him, doing decent damage. The 2 gnolls standing next to Hisp return attacks, with one hitting him with a critical strike from his bone longbow. Hisp retreated inside the old temple's doors. He readied himself for any gnoll to come through the doors, and one gnoll did and met his demise by Hisp's rend attacks. Dusty took out a couple more gnolls and a few hyenas, trying to even the odds. Malik noticed Dusty's wounds were beginning to stack up, and for one round the cleric did not dodge, but instead healed his ranger ally with an effective healing spell. Some gnolls on the wall's ledge stayed there for range support, while the rest of the gnolls on the wall made their way towards the main battle in front of the old temple. This is where we end this week of the adventure. Tune in next week for the final conclusion of this massive battle to see who controls the ring fort. Join us next week for episode 13, where our heroes finish their assault on the Knoll Threat in the Cron Hills.